North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson says he is considering joining a lawsuit against the Department of Education and the Trump administration. 21 Democratic AGs are suing over the mass layoffs impacting the department. 1,300 workers were told this week that they were being let go. The lawsuit claims the cuts are the same as cutting off legally required functions of the Ed Department. The filing claims that layoffs are part of a broader plan to illegally eliminate the department, which only Congress can do. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now, and so this lawsuit here is trying to stop the firings of other lawsuits here that have been going on.
100%. They're asking for declaratory judgment. They're asking the court to say, hey, tell us, are they allowed to do this? When you're saying declaratory judgment, in a nutshell, it's saying declare, announce, make sure that the folks that are parties to this claim know that what they're doing is wrong. Sometimes you have what's called a temporary injunction or permanent injunction, where you're saying, I need someone to stop doing something. That's not what they're asking here. They're asking for guidance. They're saying, we see the Constitution, we see what the statutes say, we recognize that Congress has the authority, only authority, to get rid of this agency, and because they have the authority, hey, declare that they can't do what they're doing. Tell them to stop doing what they're doing. And that's what they're asking. They, as in these folks that have filed, these 21 plus attorneys generals have filed the complaint asking the court to make a declaratory judgment, which is normal. But in the root of it, the biggest portion in there that I need everyone to get at home is NOTICE. Notice. That's all they're asking for. Notice, you have authority to fire folks, but you got to give them notice. There is something called due process. You're normally entitled to 60 days notice to give you an opportunity to get your affairs in order, to give you an opportunity to defend this firing. But if you don't have notice, you get an email that tells you to close your computer and walk out the front door. That's kind of not notice, and that's what most of these folks have received.
And a lot of these judges, a lot of these court orders have been ruling in favor or against the Trump administration of what they've been doing. But would this fall under a judge's ruling today to reinstate the federal workers and other agencies?
I don't think it would fall under, because that was specifically to those federal employees, right? The judge said that you guys don't have the authority, specifically talking about DOJ. But you got to remember, the Trump administration is going from multiple angles. On the one angle, they're saying we're just going to get rid of a lot of folks at one time, and we'll do these mass firings. But then on the other side, we'll go in and we'll get rid of specific departments that we want to remove. Specifically here, when we're talking about the Department of Education, if the end result is to privatize the Department of Education and get rid of these folks, as the president has said that some of these folks weren't doing their job, some of these folks weren't just coming to work. But that would make it seem like it was a scalpel approach, like I was individually removing specific individuals that weren't doing their job. But this seems more like a sledgehammer approach, where they're saying we're removing bulks in batches of individuals, and it's saying numbers on a spreadsheet, I need these departments to leave. And so if the argument is that individuals weren't doing their job, I'm all in favor of that as well. And we have history of doing that in this country. Point to the 90s. President Clinton did the exact same thing. When they came in, they were attempting to find ways to make the government more efficient, but they went with a scalpel, not with a sledgehammer.
And with this case, I mean, when you're held up in the court like this, it just puts so many workers, hundreds and thousands of people, in limbo as they just kind of wait to see what happens.
Well, limbo is something normally that you don't associate with the federal government. Having a government employee position normally is the most safe position in the country, because you recognize that you have these procedural due processes in place to protect your job. That's not happening. Nothing is normal about this, and so that's why you see these lawsuits. You'll see the lawsuits continue. You've mentioned that there have been a number of battles that have been won on the attorneys generals that have filed these complaints. I think the law is on their sides. The Trump administration is attempting to do things that the courts have never seen, but they are responding with case law and with history and with constitutional standards.
All right, we'll see where it goes then going forward. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks.